Okay, welcome once again to Philosophy Online Lecture. We are still on medieval philosophy, talking about Saint Thomas Aquinas, and here we'll be talking about his proof for the existence of God. Back then, they were not called proofs for the existence of God, but arguments for the existence of God. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, so he had five arguments for the existence of God. That of motion, that's from cause, and the third one from contingency of being, the fourth one degree of perfection, and the fifth one from order. Okay, so let's take it one after the other. For motion is that Aristotle argument of the unmoved mover. So it's just like it. So yeah, he also used potency and acts to explain. He said that uh, one being move another, okay, and another move another. Okay, so that is basically the argument of the unmoved mover. Okay, then we now have a first mover. So this is the way Aquinas explained it. He said a being can only transit through potency and acts. And I explained potency and acts. That is that potency is that possibility to change. Okay, that act is that end goal of that possibility to change. That is becoming something else. Okay, so he said that uh, a being can only move through potency and act, but another act must aid that being that has the potential to change, okay, to move to another act. Okay, so for example, if they say I have the potency to move into another act, then another act has to aid me in order to be able to move to another act. That is how it is. Okay, so in the unmoved mover argument, it said that each mover is moved by another mover. Okay, so this movement cannot be ad infinitum, that is, cannot continue to till eternity. So there must be a beginner, okay, of all this movement, and that is the unmoved mover, which is God. Okay, so the second argument is from cause, and this is just like that of the unmoved mover. So just replace any word unmoved mover to uncaused cause, any mover to cause. Okay, so something cause another, and another cause another, but all these cause cannot continue to eternity. We have to have a first cause, and this first cause is God. Okay, so the third one, contingency of being. He said that contingency of being is that all being in the universe are contingent being. When we say they are contingent being, that is, their existence is not necessary. And why is this? Because they come and go. Okay, so that they are temporal. Okay, like man, everything on the universe are temporal, they come and go. Okay, so uh if they come and go, that is, their existence is not permanent and is not necessary, in the sense that if their existence is necessary, then they won't come and go, because they will be responsible for other existence. So that leads us to the idea that there is a necessary being who all these contingent being gets their existence from, and this necessary being has in its nature existence itself. Okay, so this necessary being is God. It's just like the university. Okay, students come and go, but without the university being, okay, we can't have students coming and going. Okay, so the existence of students is tied to the existence of the university, but the existence of the student is not necessary, because they come and go, she gets it, but that of the university, is necessary, because without it the students cannot come and go. Okay, so I hope you get that simple explanation. Okay, the fourth one is the degree of perfection. Okay, so in the universe we observe there are degrees of perfection in things, and attributes too, like beauty, goodness, and everything. There are something is beautiful and another is much more beautiful. Okay, so all these uh, measures that we have, there must be the highest, which we use to measure the others, and this highest is what? God. So God is that absolute perfect being, that supreme perfect being. Okay, that highest perfect being. Okay, and those we observe in the universe are just uh, they are not up to the level. Okay, so the fifth one is from order. He said that if we observe that there are order and harmony in the universe, and this order and harmony can only be made possible by an intelligent being. If you look at everything in the universe, they act towards a common goal, even those that are rational and are irrational. Okay, like the sun has an end goal, the moon has an end goal, rain has an end goal. All these things are not just they didn't just come to be. An intelligent being must have made that possible. It's just like a teleological argument, okay? Argument from design, okay? So they are designed to act in a certain way, and it must have been an intelligent being that made this possible, and that is God, okay? So we could see that all the arguments of uh, St. Thomas Aquinas are cosmological in the sense that they come from our observation of the universe, because St. Thomas Aquinas is of the school of Aristotle too. Do you get it? So they believe in sense perception, human experience. Okay, so that is why St. Thomas Aquinas even rejected St. Anselm ontological arguments, saying that it doesn't make sense to argue from uh, the idea of God on the mind to what we experience. Okay, you know, since the Anselm was saying that God is that greater that none other can be thought of. That is, he started from our mind and then said that it must exist in reality. Okay, so Aquinas rejected it because it is not possible for us to argue something from our mind and then bring it into reality. We have to sense something first before we take it to our mind. Okay, I hope you get it. Okay, so on man's knowledge of God, okay, so listen to this interesting part. There are questions that is it possible to know God? Can we know the nature of God? Okay, since all we know is known empirically through sense perception, and God is not cannot be known through sense perception. So how can we know God? Okay, so Aquinas said that we might not be able to know God through human experience. Okay, we cannot be able to know the positive nature of God, but we can get nearer to knowing it through negations. Okay, so we might not know what God is, but we might know what He is not. Okay, so let me give you an example. So if we observe that man is mortal, then the opposite of mortal is immortal. Okay, so we attach immortality to God. If we observe that man is imperfect, we can say that God is perfect. If we observe that man is limited, we can say the negation of limited is unlimited. So we attach that to God. Okay, we say that man is temporal, okay, is under time. Then we can say the negation of this is that God is not under time, is eternal. I hope you get it. Okay, so and I also said that we can also know God through some positive ways, and that is through observations also. We observe that a man is good, a man has wisdom, man has beauty. Okay, so those are positive attributes of man. Okay, but we can also attach these attributes to God. Only that the measure of those attributes in man is way low, way too low to that of God. Okay, they are very high in God. We can't compare the measure of goodness in man and God. Okay, so if you say that uh, man is beautiful, we say that God is beauty itself. Okay, so anything we attribute to creatures, we say that God is that in itself. Okay, any positive thing we attribute to creatures. Okay, but we also have a problem. Okay, and I'll tell you the problem, because this positive way also, it is through human experience, it's still from our experience, and God transcend experience, is beyond what we can experience. Okay, so the question was asked that do we mean the same thing when we say that man is good and God is good? Okay, so Augustine had to respond by saying that there are three ways in which we predicate things. So it differentiated between three predications, okay, because when the question was asked that, is it the same way we predicate goodness, beauty to man? Is it the same way that we predicate it to God? Okay, so Augustine had to explain it, okay, and he said that there are three ways, predications, okay. The first one is univocal. I'm going to okay, a screenshot on the screen. We have univocal, we have analogical, and we have the equivocal, okay. When we say univocal, yeah, we are applying the same word in the same way and with the same meaning to two or more persons. Okay, so we are applying or predicating the same word in the same way and with the same meaning. So when we say that a lecturer is intelligent and a student is intelligent, we are using that word intelligent in the same way to mean the same thing to both the lecturer and the student. Okay, so that is univocal. But in analogical, we are using the same word in similar way, but not exactly in the same way with the same meaning. Okay, so when we can say a man is healthy and we can say a food is healthy, it doesn't mean that the word healthy as we apply it to man is the same way we're applying it to food. I hope you get it now. Okay, so I could now say that this is how we use or we predicate those attributes to both God and man. So when we apply goodness to man, we are not applying it the same way and with the same meaning to uh, man and God. We are just using it in similar way. Okay, so when we say man is good and God is good, we are using it analogically. Okay, so equivocal is the third one. It said, yeah, same words are applied in different ways and with different meaning. So, for example, the word bat can apply to tennis, a tennis tool for playing a tool for playing tennis, okay, and as an animal, that is that bird called bat, okay. So yeah, we are using the same word, okay, but with different meaning and applying it in different way, okay. So that is the difference, okay. But to Aquinas, when we predicate word, we use them analogically, okay. So more points from Thomas Aquinas is that he said that creatures have dependent relationship with God because they were created by God, so their relationship with God is a dependent one. He also believed that God created uh, all his creations out of nothing, and not like the Greek philosopher who did that everything was already pre-existing. God just came to add order to him. God created everything out of nothing, and the creatures had nothing to God, but God just communicates his goodness through his creation. Okay, so when we see that man is good, we are saying that God is communicating his goodness through his creations. Okay, when we say that rain provides warm weather, we are seeing the goodness of God. Okay, so moving on evil, on the problem of evil, he believed like the Aristotelian school and Neoplatonism that evil is a negation of good. God did not create it, but only permitted it because of the good that accompanies evil. Okay, so I will explain that. And like Saint Augustine, he said that there is moral evil and there is physical evil. The moral evil are that comes with our free will to either do good or bad. Okay, so that choice make us to commit evil if we want to, and the physical evil is part of the universe. Okay, so the possibility of having good in the universe is also the possibility of having evil. If we do not have an idea of what pleasure is, we won't have an idea of what pain is. It's as simple as that. So if we do not have an idea of what evil is, we won't have an idea of what good is. Okay, so God permitted evil because of the good that accompanies it. Okay, so those are uh, Thomas Aquinas on uh, the existence of God, man knowledge of God, and the problem of evil. Thank you so much for listening to